I am currently in the suburb of Abbotsford, and down that street is a film set. Probably the most important film set in our country. There are some people that may say it's not a film set, you know, they might say it's a football ground. Well, I call it a film set. One of the best Australian films ever made was shot on that set. And that film is called The Club. So, how about we go check out the film set? Let's do this.
Well, what gives you the right to sit in judgment on me, you fat turd? Don't get back to me like that, you get back, calm down!
Well, the committee can get stuck. Murray.
Towards Hayward, but look at Hayward stand there. He's not even going for it. It is unbelievable.
I don't care if you can swap him for Jesus Christ.
Yeah, well, with the team we'll have next year, Jesus Christ will be flat out making the reserves. He's been up his mum and his legless sister, and he thinks he killed his old man. What?
Just the goal. And by golly, what a game this is.
About time you caught a cab, Laurie.
Okay, this is Victoria Park. This is where most of the club was filmed. Just watching the film last night, I'm recognising that area. That's changed a little bit, the front's changed of the Bob Rose stand. Got the same commission buildings that you can see in the film. You had Jack Thompson and Graham Kennedy over here in one scene, and Jack and Alan Castle and Frank Wilson.
He only played 151 games, not one of them was worth a pinch of poop.
It used to be the Collingwood Football Club's home ground. This is where they did all their training, like in the film, but they've now moved. And they still play VFL games here. So let's have a look around.
Two groups, 20 metres apart. All right, Jeff against Tank.
Beauty. Look, Laurie, I'm going to tell you something in the strictest confidence. You can afford to be generous to Ted, because you're not going to be around here much longer.
Do you remember your first kick?
Not all that well.
Oh, it was magic. I was standing on almost this exact same spot.
Now I am on this exact spot.
I can see it as clearly as if it was a video replay. You read the play and started sprinting for the goal. Picked up a long, low pass from Wally Baker, did a beautiful blind turn around Stan Jackson, and slammed it through the centre. I'd go out on a limb and say it's the best first game that's ever been played on this ground.
Thanks.
No, I mean it. And I've seen every game this club's played since I was 6. Up until the time I was 12 or so. I used to cry every time we lost.
It smells like urine.
I am disgusted, and it's no good pretending otherwise.
If you just go down there and turn left, there's a toilet. A toilet just down there. They're not moving. Is this the old entrance? Look at this. I think that's the exit. Wow, this is ancient. Listen to that.
Couldn't quite hold the mark, and Haywood, he goes for the mark, he closes his eyes. Actually, he should have a seeing eye dog out there. Shot back up there towards that half-back flank. Haywood coming across, goes for the punch. It's a good one, but it's to the wrong man, and Carlton go back into attack again.
Okay, we've found the part of the Victoria Park where Laurie, Ted and Jerry are having their confrontation after Laurie spoke to the press. And here is Collingwood Football Club. This is the big picture of the Magpie. It's still there.
Before we took any action. Fine.
Why was Ted Parker in the coach's box during the first match, Laurie?
Because it's hard for some people to stop sticking their noses in where they're not wanted, isn't it, eh?
They're in this car park. It's still got Collingwood on there. It's a community centre. Collingwood Football Club Community Centre.
The club's going through a slump, but nobody's blaming you.
I should bloody well hope not.
Holy Jesus, Laurie, there's no need to be totally self-righteous. I was elected by the members of this club to lead it. No, I'm sick of pussyfooting around, Jerry. He's called me autocratic. Yes, he resents the fact that I've brought a level-headed business approach to the club and that approach is going to pay off. Remember my election slogan, the great leap forward? Boom or bust? What happened?
We bust.
What's that meant to me?
Ted, it means that if that bloody committee of yours gives Laurie the boot, then we go on strike next Saturday.
Oh, the next thing you know, there'll be a stop work meeting every time the umpire blows his whistle.
How can you run a team? Well, you're sticking your nose in everywhere.
Sticking the nose. Lovely hand pass going over to Brown, a shot for goal, and I think it may be through for 6 points. Yes, it's a goal to Carlton, and they're looking mighty good at the moment.
Where are you getting the money for all these new players?
Leave that to me.
Be buggered, I'll leave it to you. I've been around this place 22 years, and I am the coach of this bloody club, not the office boy.
And what about you? Sneaking around to the committee behind my back and telling them I was drunk just so you could get my job. Do you call that courage? It's just as well we're getting rid of you.
You were a thug as a football player. You were a lousy coach. And you're the last person in the world who should be president.
You can call me what you like, mate.
The film was set inside here, but now it's all actually office buildings and different businesses are in there, I think. 2 dogs. It's a face-off. Just like Collingwood and Carlton back in the day. 1970 grand final. Collingwood got robbed. I think again in 77. You can see I've just read up on this.
Look at him, look. Leaves his wife and kids for some Avis rent-a-car Sheila.
They say he was a great player.
Oh, yes, and my aunt makes great scones. It doesn't mean she should run a cake factory.
And then I told Laurie I was stoned, and you should have seen Laurie's eyes. Marijuana?
Do you really think you should smoke before a match?
Hey?
I'd really like to see you play well.
In trying to figure out where Jeff's house is, you've got to look for clues in the picture. There is one shot of his house where you can see one of these commission buildings just slightly on the top right-hand side of the screen. So there's lots of these buildings in and around Melbourne, Flemington, Carlton, Collingwood. So just got to search the radius around each of them, and that's what we're going to do.
That first night of training, you beat Tang. You were so bloody pleased with yourself, you had tears in your eyes.
And at
until you've got the guts to get out there and try, you can sit and rot in the reserves for the arrogant young turd you are.
Laurie, you're giving me the shits.
You're giving me the shits, Jeff.
Okay, I've found Jeff's house. It's in Palmerston Street in Carlton. It's just around the corner over here, and I'm gonna go have a look at it.
Great.
Let's go see Jeff's house.
I'm more than a kid with potential, Laurie.
What does he want?
Here it is. This is Jeff's house. Currently being painted. Jack Thompson and Jeff were arguing up there and down there. We'll have a look at that. And Frank Wilson came in to speak to Jeff up that laneway, and that's still there. Jock was played by Frank Wilson, who had a big career in film and TV, and apparently was in a Charlie Chaplin movie, A King in New York, back in 1957. So it's pretty impressive to have on your CV. Apparently inside the house has changed quite a lot. They've done a lot of it up, and the outside is pretty much, yeah, the colours changed. That place tidied up the front yard there. Yeah, it's great. See the church behind Jack Thompson in one scene. Yeah.
Now, he may be a pompous little turd, but he's seen every game this club's played since he was 6. Well, that may not impress you, but by Christ, it impresses me. That first night of training you beat Tank, you were so bloody pleased with yourself you had tears in your eyes.
Bullshit.
It's not bullshit. I know the feeling. I ought to. I've been missing it for 15 years.
Laurie, can't you understand? Football bores me. When I was 12, I was living in a little country town, and my ultimate dream was to get a game with the local first. 6 years later, I was playing centre for the state side. I was an acknowledged champion.
No, you weren't. You were just a kid with potential. And that's what you still are.
Did you hear that?
I think the whole street did.
Well, you work to earn a living, but on weekends comes the time you can do whatever turns you on. Get out and clear your mind. Me, I like football. There's a lot of things around.
I predicted that there'd be a comeback, and I also said that that young kid from Tasmania, Jeff Hayward, would come good.
You genius. You turncoat.
A chance for Collingwood to
There are days when you could give it up. There are days when you could fly. You either love or hate it, depending on the score. When the team run out or they kick a goal, how's the mighty?
That was a real champion.
Laurie's a great coach.
And I'm going to try and learn how to play football on the same ground. It's in the great film, The Club. Why did I go that way? get something for that?
Fight like the devil, the crowd's on your side. The crowd's on your
We're gonna get a goal. Let's do this.
Bullshit.